Morning, guys. Welcome to hopefully a post-blizzard beach clean. I say hopefully because there's still an awful lot of snow out here. And in my experience, you never know what to expect with beach cleaning in general, but especially after a blizzard, which wrapped up a couple days ago, but it's been pretty sub-freezing temperatures since then. So there hasn't been a ton of meltage. The beach is an interesting place after a blizzard for the simple fact that you basically often have a narrow space between the low tide mark and the high tide mark to walk along the beach. And it's actually something worth keeping in mind because if you head out at high tide, you could maybe get trapped around a bend or something like that. But tides go out eventually. And in any event, that's just all to say I have no idea what we'll find because we might have some pretty narrow real estate. But the high tide from this blizzard was pretty intense. So I don't know how much of the snow that sort of ate away during the storm and right after the storm. I can sort of see behind me, and the beach actually looks pretty clear, so that actually might mean that we will have some luck today. I was actually hoping to bring my oil barrel that I found a couple of beach cleans ago, but unfortunately I couldn't get it cleaned out. It was still sort of slick with dirty oil, and I live in a little town where I don't have access to a garden hose. I live in an apartment, and so I kind of positioned it under some melting icicles, which are either going to kill me or hopefully drip and wash out that bucket. Granted, I'm not a physics professor. I don't know if that will work, but it's worth a try. It's just sitting there filling up with melting water now. Hopefully it doesn't freeze because it's right around freezing. It's like 29 degrees according to my dashboard thermometer. So not as bad as it's been. The low was like 13 degrees last night, which is pretty brutal beach cleaning weather temperature. Luckily today, also, it's not too windy. I always say go to any beach clean video, and I'm always warning about the wind. But I think it's 4 or 5 miles per hour today, which is awesome. I can beach clean in 0-degree weather if there's no wind. Honestly, you just bundle up and you're fine. It's the wind that really drains your energy, honestly. So all things considered, this might actually be a pretty cool beach clean outing. Again, let's get out there and see what we find. But I'm hopeful. So bundle up and let's do some exploring. Well, this is actually way cleaner than I thought it would be, so we're definitely going to find some stuff out here. A little bit breezier than I was hoping, but it's not too bad. It's, probably 5 or 6 mile per hour winds. So if it's messing with the mic at all, apologies. But yeah, I think we should do just fine today. And this is fortuitous as well. I totally forgot that there is a beach cleanup station here that this company, Relic, they're kind of an advocacy / clothing company. I've actually met them. They're super cool people. And they set up these bin stations with trash bins, basically, where you can collect trash. So I'm going to start with this because I've always wanted to use their bins. They set this up, I think, last summer or a couple summers ago. And I just never had the opportunity or the chance to try them out and give them a go. So yeah, let's take one of these if I find a bucket along the way, because as I said, I found that oil drum last time or a couple trips ago. I might find something else that I'll take home and continue to use, but I want to give Relic a shout out to Relic, one of their baskets, beach clean baskets, a go. Oh, look at this here. We got a giant Ziploc bag, which if I didn't have this nice basket, I would absolutely clean out and use to put trash in, but I'm gonna spare myself the muddy, dirty, icy slush and just toss it in the basket. So I think I know what happened with the storm. Was basically, if you see here, the ice and snow kind of starts right by these dunes, and I think that's probably about as high as the storm tide made it up. And probably during the storm, that's exactly what was happening. So the snow was falling on the water as opposed to the sand, and that's why most of this beach is so clear. There's probably a lot of trash buried in with this kind of weedy, reedy, snowy ice. So when this melts, we're gonna find a lot more trash, but I'm already finding stuff sort of on the border here because, again, that sort of makes sense, right? High tides get up to a certain point, they start moving out and the trash is left behind. That's often the case as I see it in the summer, but I think here too, it's just kind of locked under some of this ice, but I'm finding a few interesting bits. So I'm gonna walk down like another mile or so, keep collecting, and then show you some of my my treasures, icy treasures today. You can see what I mean right here. Got a straw right in there. Some plastic stuff tangled in here. Like I said, this is just what you can see on the surface. So yeah, when this melts, there's gonna be a lot more. So we'll definitely be back here in the coming weeks. Well, here's a unique one. It's like a big old super truck tire. I think my basket's not gonna cut it for this, unfortunately. Maybe if I do a group cleanup here, we could reclaim this. Because there's definitely some toxic, not too environmentally friendly stuff here. No idea how this got out the beach, but yeah, it's should be removed eventually for sure. Whew. Well, I would say that was a very successful beach clean, which success is always a double-edged piece of trash, right? Because as much as I hate finding it, it's always really illuminating when I find really diverse, different types of garbage. And stick around for this reveal because we got summer stuff, we got winter stuff, we got all sorts of trash and medley of garbage, unfortunately. But I think it's really interesting in how that speaks to how some of this is winding up at the beach and what we can do to maybe try to mitigate some of that, maybe try to prevent some of that. So I'll just rapid fire sort of go through some of the more interesting finds, some of which are pretty common, like little mini liquors. You find these year round. People any time of year are at the beach crushing mini liquors, so no surprise here. And as you can see, this one's pretty degraded. It's pretty old. Unfortunately, these more kind of messed up ones, I don't know if they're really recycle worthy, and I don't know if I found anything recycle worthy. Such is the winter season. Stuff gets really kind of trashed, for lack of a better phrase, over the course of a year. So I pretty much say this in every video, but it's worth reiterating the fact that if you can do a street side cleanup, especially where you're finding a lot of fresh litter, go ahead and do it, because if that stuff is still recyclable, like bottles, cans, that sort of stuff, you can recycle it then. But if it's been lying around at the beach for months or sometimes years, there's still a barcode on this, but a lot of like grocery store recycling that you need the kind of barcode scans, they'll just be gone, you know, they'll be torn off. Like if you look at this water bottle, it's a pretty fresh water bottle, but it's already getting pretty messed up. Anyways, yeah, I thought it was interesting because there was some winter stuff. I can't really dig through it all because there's stuff I don't really want to touch either, and I don't have my gloves on me. But yeah, there was lip balm, which I find a lot of in the winter time. No surprise there. But again, a lot of stuff actually surprisingly left over from the summer, I think. I found this little sort of kitty rake in the sand. I found this poking out from the sand, and if you see just the top of this, you might not know what it is, but as you slide it up, you can see it's a beach umbrella, or the bottom part of a beach umbrella that you screw into the sand. So I don't know if somebody left it behind or it broke off and they just said, oh, the heck with it, I'm not gonna pick it up or pry it out of the ground. Took me like 10 seconds to figure that out. So yeah, unfortunately, some of the trash you find is the product of laziness. I don't know in this case, but I've seen enough people litter where I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case here, unfortunately. Anyways, and lots of just typical stuff, wrappers that you find year-round, degraded lids, straws. I tried to get some videos of those too. Tennis ball, and just a lot of plastic scraps that are kind of hard to identify what they are. I liked this find as well. I found the bill of a hat, and as you can see, it's tangling up with the biomass here, which is none too good, because as I always say, when you're taking away biomass by wrapping it up in cloth and plastic and synthetic fibers, it's a material that isn't being used by the natural environment. I mean, obviously, one piece isn't going to destroy the world, but so happens when you add up millions and billions and trillions of pieces, that sort of can have an effect, right? And if you think of like nesting animals, birds, sea turtles, those sorts of things, you want that biomass, you know, reeds and grasses and stuff, to not be kind of locked in with this type of trash. And unfortunately, I see it a lot. I think I mentioned last week, I found spots with tennis balls near dog parks or beachside tennis courts where there's so many tennis balls in the sand that you actually can see bare patches where I guess plants just can't take root, trees and bigger plants and that sort of thing. So yeah, it adds up and it does have an effect in that way. But anyways, so that was some of the more interesting stuff I found. Ironically, I took a picture of a bag of bread and a milk carton, which, as we all know, in blizzard times, what do people get? Milk and bread for whatever odd reason. I also found something I wanted to show you that was pretty unique. You bear with me for a moment here. Here we are. Doggy bags, which comes already loaded, so I can actually use this to pick up trash. I might clip this on my belt when I beach clean now, and again, if my other bag breaks or tears or blows away, I have this panic backup one. I'll probably actually hook it onto my backpack. So yeah, you never know what you're gonna find when you're out here, and sometimes the beach giveth, and it giveth me some free trash bags, little doggy bags. So reuse stuff you find at the beach if there's an applicable use for it, and I think that's the case here. Like I said, I'm trying to use over the last year or so less plastic in general, fewer plastic bags, garbage bags when I beach clean. They're great because they're durable, but again, it's leading to more production of these ubiquitous plastics that ideally we want to maybe try to wean off as best we can. But anyways, when you find something that you can use, and like I showed you with that Ziploc bag, you should take advantage of it because it's already out here. It's already trash otherwise, maybe. But anyways, my final find that I wanted to show you, which was my favorite, is this. I think, I don't know, super soaker water gun type thing. And yeah, this is a lot of plastic, right? So this is definitely something that you want to pick up at the beach, clean up, and get out of the environment, because this is going to break down into all the sorts of microplastics that I find, these other little bits that I can't really identify what they're from. They're probably from weirdo stuff like this that doesn't belong at the beach. So this is probably at least a pound itself, and I probably got at least 3 or 4 pounds of trash here, which if you think about that adding up, that's a lot. Imagine ingesting 3 or 4 pounds of plastic. That's none too good for anybody, right? So certainly that multiplied many times throughout all marine environments, and you see why plastics pollution is such an issue. But anyways, shout out to Relic, again, the company that provides these baskets at local beaches. They've been doing it for a while now, I know. Like I said, I've met them before. They're really cool people, and if I had to review this basket, I would say it's a really great beach clean tool. I was a little hesitant at first because, as you can probably see from my videos, there's kind of all these holes in them, like gaps, which at first I was kind of worried because, well, isn't the plastic going to fall out? But I don't think much did. I mean, if you have smaller microplastics you're cleaning up, well, then maybe you want to use something more less full of holes, like a plastic doggy bag or something. But it actually held everything really well, and I like the design because it lets sand and small rocks fall through, which you don't want to be carrying around with you anyway. So you can just give this basket a shake every now and then, and that's going to lighten your load actually. And you shouldn't be taking sand and rocks away from the beach anyways, because they belong at the beach. So I actually really like that about the design. So I'm going to give a big shout out to Relic for their awesome work here, and thinking of something really creative, but really useful too. It's good to see these popping up all around where I live, and I'm sure other people are doing similar initiatives, and if not, it's a great idea. It's a win-win for everyone. So anyways, that's our post-blizzard beach clean. Way more productive than I thought it was going to be. I was totally wrong. I really thought I would go out there and it would be this little line of real estate, but it turns out the beach was plenty open. There's actually a lot of people out here now, which I'm surprised by as well. Cabin fever setting in post-blizzard. I think people just want to get out of their homes. And it's a beautiful day. It's a little windy, like I said, and now it's picking up. That's why I'm doing this review in here, so it doesn't mess with the mic too much. But anyways, otherwise beautiful weather. I always say I'd rather beach clean in not too windy, freezing temperatures than in the middle of the summer where it's 100 degrees and breeze isn't going to do you much good, honestly, with the sun beating down on you. So winter can actually be a really useful, productive beach clean season. And as I mentioned while I was on the beach, I'm sure if I come back later in the week or next week, certainly, this is a local beach I actually grew up near. So I'm very familiar with it. And I know those duny areas, as the snow melts, I'm going to find 10 times more than I found today, which again is sort of discouraging in one sense, but in the other sense, it's good I know where some of this is, and that I can pick it up moving forward. And like I always say too, don't be discouraged if you're trying to get into beach cleaning or environmental work yourself. I always tell my students, for example, especially because I work at a science focused school, that a lot of it is just about raising awareness. I mean, picking up 4 or 5 pounds of trash isn't going to solve the problem, but to a local animal that's mucking about trying to just live its life, those types of toxic chemicals are probably good to remove from its home. And you never know who you inspire, who you influence, especially with my science students. I say, one of you's got to come up with some alternative or solution, or maybe biodegradable plastics or something like that, and other extensions of technologies that we just haven't thought of, right? There's so much new stuff going on. It's really fascinating. And again, if you can expose more people to these problems and get them thinking about solutions, then it's all working together as part of moving forward towards a better world, hopefully. So, but I'm rambling now because I'm pretty tired. It was a long walk, but a productive one, I think, as always. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I wanted to show and talk about this week. Thanks everybody for coming back. I know, like I said last week, it's been a while since I've done videos. I had some minor injuries, sort of, and just a lot going on with school and COVID and everything. So it was hard to get out and film videos, even though I was beach cleaning. First and foremost, I just like to go out and do the work. But yeah, I'm hoping to have some events coming up and more videos to come. So if you like some of these finds and just discussions and chats that I tried to provide, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. It was really actually inspiring or warming to, I got a lot of comments on my last video that people were very happy to see me back. So yeah, more to come. And like I said, just hit the subscribe button if you want more wacky adventures, because there are more on the way. But anyways, that's enough for today, I think. And I guess stay safe out there, stay warm, hopefully warmer days ahead, and we will be back at the beach probably in the next couple weeks. I'll be back regardless, but it's hard to film again this time of year with this type of weather. But hopefully less snow in the next video, but we'll see. So until then, stay safe. As I always say, be well, and hope to see you at the beach.